Hello there, my fellow open world gamers and agents. What's up? It's Robbie with Open World Games, and I'm joined with my twin bro, Ryan.
Hey guys, what's happening?
And I'm also joined by a special guest, Magnus, the creative director of The Division. Say hello.
Hello.
It's great to have you here. Seriously, we are huge fans of your game. We cannot wait for it to release on March 8th, and we do have some questions here that our community are extremely curious about. The first one is about the map size. Now they're going to be getting their hands on the beta. Is that going to be what they see from the map, the actual map size in the final game?
Yes, what you guys have seen here today is pretty much the extent of the open world of our game. Yes.
Okay, great. So we have that answered. All right. And customization, can you talk a little bit about that with character customization?
Sure. So, in the start of the game, you will be creating your own character, your own agent, the visual aspect of your agent. So that's where you'll be, the classical body type, hair, warts and all, and all that, and you're creating the physical appearance of your Division agent.
Okay.
But being an RPG, the customization, that's the small part, as you all know, and then because then the choices you make and how you upgrade your base of operation and how the guns that you select, etc., all that is the important customization. But for sure, at the start of the game, you get to customize the visual appearance of your agent. Absolutely.
Okay, great. And you just mentioned max level 30. How do you go beyond the max level? Is there any way of doing that? A lot of MMO style games have raids. Will we be seeing some sort of raid event or something like that?
So as I mentioned in a previous question, we're not going into too much detail today on the specifics of the end game. But as I said, there are interesting and hard to complete challenges for groups when at all points in the game, and not just in the end game. I mean, as you've seen, all of the missions that you may have noticed, that you can choose yourself to pick a hard mode to play the main missions, to do that in a hard mode instead of the normal mode, and that seriously increases the challenge and the reward. We have other things on top of that I'm not, at liberty to discuss right now, that will give you or your group a good challenge, not just during the leveling game, but also new things that we introduce towards the end. But I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, so I don't want to talk too much about it.
Okay, great. And Ryan, you can ask some questions here.
This question concerns the final game, of course, and we noticed matchmaking during the course of the game. What type of game modes can we expect?
So, the key to the Dark Zone, I would say, is the way that it's fairly lawless, and there's no rules basically. So what the whole thing we're doing and the design mantra behind the Dark Zone experience has been to remove rules, not to add them. So the Dark Zone, which is a huge section of the map that runs through the middle of the map, when you go in there, we remove rules. So suddenly, you can kill other agents, which you couldn't do before. You can suddenly, when you die, you can lose the gear that you picked up. It's not automatically saved with you. So there's all of these. There's this lawlessness and formless aspect of it, and so we don't have game modes like that. It's not that kind of multiplayer. So what it is that yes, there's enemies in there, NPCs, AI, and you go in and then you have those challenges, those encounters, and then you get rewards for that, just like in the normal open world. But the change in the Dark Zone is that there's other players, strangers, people that are not in your group. So suddenly they can engage you, or they can choose to cooperate with you. And that ambiguity, there's no rules, and it's up to the players to decide, should we group up or not group up, because you're not, you can group up with the stranger, or you can, groups can meet and not group up but still cooperate to take down some NPCs. That, or do you engage and you start, do you go rogue, which is our term for when a division agent turns on another division agent, and you kill them and you take their gear. That is a choice that you make, and we don't want to impose rules on the players. So the Dark Zone is a ruleless place.
That's pretty awesome.
So it's not the traditional game mode, because that would imply you should do this and this is your objective and you need to kill, and that's what normal multiplayer is. We didn't want it to be a normal multiplayer.
That's awesome. Yeah, back to the matchmaking. I'm extremely curious about this. Say I am a gamer that really doesn't want the open world. I want to just dive straight into a mission. Is that something I can do with matchmaking? See a whole mission list or other options? Just matchmake with random players and just dive into, a single player mission or whatever.
The short answer would be yes.
Okay.
You asked. There was a lot of stuff in there. So
yeah.
Obviously, there's so much fun to be had when you play with other players, and when you do your skills and you sort of coordinate and you specialize, and somebody's a healer and somebody's
Right.
Up close and personal, and somebody's a sniper, and then when you can specialize like that, that's where you're the most powerful, because you don't have to be a jack of all trades. So yes, we do want people to play together, so that's why there's so many options and opportunities for you to matchmake with strangers, to create pickups
Right.
groups. So obviously, if you have friends and whenever they're online, you're going to be notified, and it's going to be easy to hook up with them, and then you're going to be able to quickly fast travel to them, and we're going to be very generous with that.
Okay.
But outside of every main mission, we have an easy, accessible option to matchmake for that particular mission.
Great.
We have when you go into the safe houses, which are basically sort of mini social spaces that are spread out, because you have the base of operation, which is your own personal big sort of fort in the wilderness that you invest in and that you put resources into, and you get new abilities, but also spread out in all of the sort of the districts of the open world, or these safe houses. And they're
Okay.
social spaces, so when you walk in there, you can see other players, even though you're not in the group. I mean, people that are just happening to be there on the server. And then, of course, we have the hub that you arrive in Manhattan with. So there's, and then you can just walk up to them, and you have this. You can just right-click if you have a controller or a dedicated key on the PC, and you can send an invite to the stranger.
Okay.
So we have matchmaking, we have easy grouping options, and we have even global options where you just find me anyone.
great.
So yeah, so there's
Okay.
there's this whole range of ways. We're trying really, if you want to play with someone, we're making it very easy for you to do so.
Great. That's great to hear, because some people just don't have time. They're at, college, work, whatever. They just want to hop in. But also another question is about the hub world. Can we expect trade to be a part of the game, going up to another player, trading weapons, gear, that sort of thing?
So right now we don't have any plans on player trading
Okay.
for the division. So
Okay.
we really want the player's gear and the player to focus on his or her own gear, and for the Dark Zone, and where you go in, and that ambiguity and that possibility, I'm gonna take your stuff, is the thing we focused on right now in
Right.
terms of the player interaction. So right now there are no plans for player trading.
Okay, makes sense. Makes complete sense. So thank you so much for taking the time out to do this interview with us, Magnus. It has been
It
a
was a
great
pleasure.
experience. We cannot wait for March 8th. What platforms will it come out on?
So Tom Clancy's The Division is coming out on March the 8th on Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation 4.
Okay, awesome. Great. Thank you so much. And Ryan, thank you. Thank you.